We are live here from Flash Fest, where Lil Yachty is expected to perform in just a matter of hours. I spoke with students to see their excitement.
Kent State's latest fashion show showcased models with disabilities. Get a recap of Student Accessibility Services Adaptive Fashion Show.
I want people to know that this is not a political issue, it's a child issue. If you wash away Democrat, Republican, it's about kids.
In Tennessee, a vote will determine whether or not 3 state representatives will be removed from office. All these stories and more as your Thursday edition of TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good Thursday evening, Portage County. I'm Sydney Brown.
And I'm Alexa Blakley. Thank you so much for joining us.
Tonight at Kent State University, undergraduate student government's Flash Fest is happening right now.
Our very own Alexandria Manthey is live outside of the Mack Center where Lil Yachty is set to perform. Hi, Alex.
Hi guys, and happy Flash Fest. This concert is headlined by Lil Yachty with special guest Cash Doll, and it's going to be opened by a very own Kent State student, DJ Smills. Now, as you can see behind me, some students have been waiting in line for a matter of hours. The line started at 2 p.m. and some have been here for a couple hours waiting for their floor seats. Now, the doors of the Mack Center are supposed to be opening in just a matter of minutes. I caught up to some students to see their excitement.
We are so excited. I'm looking forward to just like his classic songs, honestly.
Me too.
I'm excited. I saw his Lil Yachty and I listened to his stuff like back a few years ago when he was hot, but I'm glad he's coming to Kent.
Yeah, I can't wait. Been waiting for this for months now. Really excited it's Lil Yachty.
But I'm excited just because it was a cheap concert, and I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Last year I went to Quavo and the floor was so fun, so we're hoping to get floor again because the top didn't look too fun.
That's why we kind of came early, because we want to get floor seats, but if we get up top, it's whatever. Any seat's going to be good.
We're just so excited.
We're just here to have a blast. We love Kent State.
Here to have a good time.
So happy they did this.
Really excited for that. Hopefully we can. I don't know. The line's getting long. Some cutters I've been seeing. So we'll see.
If you are headed out to the Mack Center, the undergraduate student government is reminding students that there will be no saving seats and no re-entry. Tickets are general admission and seats are all on a first-come, first-served basis. Once the floor hits capacity, only upper-level seats will be available. No food, beverage, alcohol, oversized bags, coolers, or weapons of any kind will be allowed in the venue. And if you want more details on that, you can visit the Kent State USG Instagram page. Now, this concert is not sold out just yet, so if you still want to get your tickets and head on out to the Mack Center, you can do so at the link at the bottom of your screen. General admission is just $20. And live from the Mack Center, I've been Alexandria Manthey.
Thanks, Alex. In more Kent State news, a longtime Flash fan is being recognized by the university for her 50th birthday. Heather Strittmatter is known as the Kent Superfan. For the past 19 years, she has attended nearly every athletic event, but now Kent State is raising money in her honor. As a part of their Mack Center renovation project, they are dedicating a spot for their #1 fan on the Mack floor, where she stands for most Kent State sporting events.
And starting tomorrow, a new exhibit will be on display at the KSU Downtown Gallery, courtesy of the School of Art and Galleries. The exhibit is titled De Tumescence and was created by Bedel Tescareño, a Mexican-American painter and sculptor. His work is inspired by historical events with fantastical elements and situations added into them. The exhibit will be open until May 13th and is free to the public.
Something sweet is coming to downtown Kent. Daisy Pops Bakery will be opening at the end of this month, bringing specialty cake pops to the city. The owner, Amy Fisher-Musha, smiled in her latest Instagram post where she announced the grand opening of the new pop shop for the last weekend in April. But she also posed with Kent's chief building official, who bought a box of cake pops, becoming Daisy Pops' first store sale. Place to witness the 2024 solar eclipse. The total solar eclipse is Monday, April 8th in 2024, and multiple locations across Northeast Ohio are in the path of totality.
NASA explains a total solar eclipse as when the moon passes between the sun and Earth, completely blocking the face of the sun. The sky will darken as if it were dawn or dusk. But in Cleveland, the eclipse will last just under 4 minutes, which is one of the longest durations for major cities in the path. Now for weather in Kent, we have Michael Neenan.
How's it going, Portage County? I'm here to tell you about the nice weather we're having. So, right now in Kent, it is 49 degrees. It feels like 45. Hey, remember, it may feel nice now, but in a month's time, you will be wondering why it is so cold. The dew point is at 26 degrees. Wind is traveling west to northwest at 8 miles per hour, and the humidity is at 43%. The visibility will not be affected as it is at 10 miles currently. And as we look towards tonight and tomorrow, it will get as low as 35 degrees. It will be pretty cloudy, so you probably won't see many stars. You might get to see the moon though, but you won't get to see it in a year's time when that eclipse happens. The wind is still traveling west to northwest at 10 miles per hour, and the sun will set about an hour and a half from now at 7:55 p.m. And as we look to 8 p.m. tonight, it will be pretty cloudy really all until the morning. It's starting at 48 degrees at 8, and then there will still be clouds until the morning, but it will be a lot more chilly. But that's all I've got for now. But stay tuned because we will preview this week's forecast and see what the weather is like around the state. Let's send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Michael. 18-year-old Brandon Morissette has been charged with attempted murder after bringing a gun to school with him. A bullet was found in the men's bathroom at West Yaga High School, prompting school officials and law enforcement to start an investigation. After discovering the gun on Morissette and interviewing him, they found he had plans to harm multiple students at the school.
Hunger remains an issue for Ohio students. Feeding America ranked Ohio 13th in percentage of children with food insecurity. The Children's Defense Fund Ohio found that 1 in 6 children and as many as 1 in 4 in some counties face food insecurity. A solution for these food gaps has been the National School Lunch Program, but the participation in this program since 2017 has remained the same due to a pride gap. This is unfortunately because students would rather not eat than face a cafeteria of students who will be able to identify their free or reduced lunch status.
Some Ohio lawmakers are considering banning TikTok use on their state-issued devices. This comes after 30 other states have already done so, and the app is still on trial for a potential nationwide ban. But unlike in other states, if passed, this measure wouldn't only ban TikTok on government devices, it would also include any apps or services whose owners are located in China, such as the popular messaging app WeChat.
Student Accessibility Services hosted a night of adaptive fashion. TV2 was at the show where people with disabilities walk the runway.
And the Pentagon has spoken up about their opinion on U.S. troops being pulled from Afghanistan, what they revealed about the situation.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is TV2 News, truly Portage County.
Welcome back. Kent State Student Accessibility Services hosted a free adaptive fashion show last night where both models and dogs walked the runway.
TV2 is at this event and our own reporter Avery Savage has the full story.
Kent State's Runway of Dreams Club hosted its second annual adaptive fashion show, Inclusion for Everybody, showcasing models with disabilities taking on the runway with service dogs in a partnership with Paws for a Cause.
So Runway of Dreams is a nonprofit that is working to make the fashion industry more inclusive of people with disabilities.
The Runway of Dreams Foundation was formed in 2014 with a mission of empowering people with disabilities to have confidence and self-expression through fashion and beauty inclusion.
That we're people first, our disability comes second, it doesn't define who we are. We can have regular jobs or we could be models, designers, we could do virtually anything.
Some models wore adaptive clothing from Zappos Adaptive, which offers clothing designed around the needs and abilities of people with different disabilities.
I was personally into adaptive clothing. I am disabled myself, and I feel like it's such a missed thing in the market. It's just not out there. And when I saw Runway of Dreams, I was just so just drawn to it, and I just knew, I was like, this is the club I need to start.
The fashion show gave models alike the chance to share their passion for fashion and a sense of community and belonging.
I think the biggest thing is our models. I mean, that's the most fulfilling thing to me as well, is these models don't get this kind of opportunity. People don't want to have them model, and they got so excited to be included and to be able to go on the runway.
And this gave the opportunity for one model to share what he enjoys about this fashion show.
Just seeing a bunch of different people with disabilities celebrated and, you know, put in a positive light.
Attendees of the event learned about the disabled community and the talents they can showcase.
It's just awesome that we can have special needs and yet still be seen for the beauty that we have within.
Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Avery Savage.
Now moving into some educational news, First Lady Jill Biden visited Vermont yesterday to promote educational programs. Dr. Biden spoke about having access to quality education starting at the preschool level. Her support of investment in education programs is an ongoing message while she tours the U.S. And this stop happened to be at Beta Technologies, an electric aerospace company.
Learning that's connected to careers is the heart of the Biden education pathway. It starts with free, high-quality, universal preschool and goes through to high school. And it provides access to 2 years of affordable community college and connects to great jobs.
A record-breaking amount of anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced into state legislatures in 2023. These bills especially target healthcare and education, including attempts to ban access to gender-affirming healthcare for transgender youth. They also aim to regulate curriculum in schools to prevent discussions of sexuality. 24 of the 417 bills have already been signed into law.
This has been one of the worst weeks of 2023 so far in terms of anti-LGBTQ bills becoming law in states across America. 3 anti-LGBTQ laws have been enacted so far this week in Kansas, Indiana, and Idaho.
Transgender athletes in Kansas will no longer be able to compete on school sports teams consistent with their gender. The state's Republican-controlled legislature overrode a veto by Democratic Governor Laura Kelly. She had tried to block the Fairness in Women's Sports Act, which requires female student athletic teams to only include members who are biologically female. The law applies to athletes in kindergarten through college and goes into effect July 1st. However, the Biden administration proposed a rule change that would forbid schools from banning transgender athletes from teams that are consistent with their gender identities. The proposed rule would change what would make categorically banning these students a violation of Title IX. But the rule would also allow K-12 schools and universities to limit the participation of transgender students when including them could undermine fairness or lead to injuries.
Guns! Protect kids! Not guns! Protect kids! Not guns! Protect kids! Not guns! Protect kids!
And in Tennessee, 3 Democratic state representatives are facing expulsion for their involvement in a protest for gun control on the House floor. The protest was in response to the recent Nashville school shooting, and the 3 representatives were accused of breaking House rules with their involvement. They've already been removed from their committees, but a vote today will decide if they will be completely removed from office.
The fact that this vote is happening is shocking, undemocratic, and without precedent. Across Tennessee and across America, our kids are paying the price for the actions of Republican lawmakers who continue to refuse to take action on stronger gun laws.
A national walkout took place yesterday. Students across the country walked out of their classes in the wake of the Nashville school shooting. But among the 200 scheduled protests on Wednesday, students at Uvalde High School participated in the organized walkout. They are in the same city where a gunman killed 19 students and 2 students at Robb Elementary last year.
A viral TikTok challenge is sending kids to the hospital. Several elementary students in Orange, Massachusetts ended up injured after attempting to chew hot bubblegum after seeing it on social media. The social media challenge was to try to blow bubbles with it, but some students didn't even have the chance to put the gum in their mouths after getting severe burns on their hands just from holding it. The school is currently investigating more into what happened.
High consumption of free sugar could lead to a 45 negative health outcome. According to a study, U.S. and Chinese researchers found that added sugars, which are in foods like syrups, honey, fruit juice, vegetable juice, and purees, are associated with significantly higher risks of many sicknesses, including diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, heart attack, stroke, cancer, and more. It says people should limit free sugar intake to about 6 teaspoons per day.
The world's first ever vaccine for RSV, a respiratory virus, could soon be available. Pfizer asked for the FDA's approval after researchers said that late-stage trials showed lots of promise with no major safety concerns. The trials found that in adults 60 and over, the vaccine could prevent illnesses related to RSV, including bronchitis and pneumonia. It is also predicted to be effective during pregnancy to extend the protection to newborn infants.
Even though the COVID-19 pandemic is considered to be over by scientists, they are closely monitoring a new variant. A new Omicron subvariant XBB.1.16 has been found in nearly 24 countries. Weekly COVID-19 cases across the world have more than doubled in the past week, but remains lower than peak levels. Right now, the Omicron variant is the top concern of worldwide, and as they continues to spread. In Kentucky, at least one person is dead after severe storms ripped through the Louisville area yesterday. A National Weather Service confirmed an EF1 tornado touchdown in Newburgh, and they believe at least one more touchdown in Jefferson County.
However, Kentucky was hit with 3 more tornadoes last night. 2 were identified in Louisville's Newburgh neighborhood, 1 was identified in the Pleasure Ridge Park neighborhood, and the NWS said a 4th was identified in Meade County, Kentucky.
Now, we didn't have quite as crazy weather as in Kentucky, but it was pretty bad last night.
Yeah, there were pretty bad rainstorms last night, and it was a lot colder than it has been over the last week.
Yes. Michael, what are you thinking of these dropping temperatures?
Well, thankfully, the storms did not turn into a tornado, and it simply continued as regular rain, though it did come down very hard. Welcome back, Portage County. It's time we look ahead towards this week's forecast and see what the weather is like stateside. Starting tomorrow on Friday, it will be pretty cloudy. It will be about 50 degrees, relatively the same as today. We will see a few days of sun as the weather gets up to 80 on Sunday. Looking pretty good until for the next about 4 days, it will return to being cloudy. Now, thankfully, the temperatures are quickly rising as spring moves forward. Now, let's take a look at the statewide temperatures. Currently in northeast Ohio, going from west to east, Sandusky on the lake is at 51, Mansfield is at 50. Worcester is 49 degrees. It's relatively the same as here. Then on the lake, Cleveland and Ashtabula are also 47 and 50 degrees, but as we look towards Kent, Youngstown, and Canton, they are between 50 and 55 degrees. Now, let's take a look at statewide temperatures. In Lima, it is at 50 degrees. In Dayton, it's at 54. Cincinnati, 52. And in the middle of the state, in Columbus, it's at 51. Now, Akron, at the moment, it's currently 52 degrees. In Steubenville, it is 52, and Athens, 52. Yeah, it's pretty constant throughout the whole state, but that's all the time I have today. Try to enjoy the spring weather before it turns into summer. I've been Michael Neenan, and stay safe, Portage County.
Thank you, Michael. Now going to Virginia, the Pentagon is now defending Biden's decision to pull troops from Afghanistan. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby says the Defense Department's report concluded that the President Biden's decision to end the ground operations in Afghanistan was the right one. The report revealed that the Trump administration brokered a deal with the Taliban to remove U.S. troops by May of 2021, which President Biden pushed back to August.
Earlier today, dozens of rockets were fired from Lebanon into Israel after 2 days of clashes at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem.
What we see unfolding on the Lebanese border is obviously a consequential reaction to what we saw happening in Al-Aqsa.
34 rockets were fired, with 25 of them being intercepted by the Israeli military. At first, there was no claim of responsibility, but before the attack, the Lebanese pro-Iranian Islamist organization Hezbollah warned that it would support all measures Palestinian groups may take against Israel after clashes. The raids on the Al-Aqsa Mosque led to 350 people being arrested, with 12 Palestinians Palestinians sustaining injuries.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink, and the moon knew that. How the full moon looked last night.
And the Guardians finished up their West Coast trip last night. I'll have the highlights when TV2 News returns.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Good evening, Portage County. I am Blake Goloja with your TV2 Sports Report. Baseball is in full swing at all levels. Let's start off with a little Kent State weekend preview. Kent State baseball heads over to Bowling Green this weekend for a 3-game conference slate versus the Falcons. This should be a very entertaining series as the MAC's best hitting team will face off against the league's best pitching staff. The Flashes are averaging over 7 runs per game, while BG's staff owns a MAC best 3.35 ERA. Unfortunately, only Sunday's game will be streamed on ESPN+, but TV2 Sports will keep you updated on Twitter all weekend long. And let's head over to Oakland as the Guardians take on the Athletics. 3rd game of this slate. Deep drive here by Cam Gallagher. That's going to go off the wall. Score 2. Andres Jimenez comes around, and here comes a Miles Straw. 2-0. Cleveland Guards take that early lead. Next inning, Andres Jimenez is going to follow that up with a nice line drive base hit. He's been playing terrific to start the season off. Jose Ramirez is going to score. One more is going to score. Little base running error as Gabriel Arias gets thrown out at 3rd base. And this is a big swing right here. 12 pitch at bat, and it ends with a Jesus Aguilar bomb to left center field. That ties the game in the 8th. And no surprise here, if you've been watching Guardians games recently, this game is going to be close, as they have been. And the same inning, Seth Brown's going to put a jolt in the ball, but Miles Straw take off. Look at that catch. He is a Gold Glove winner for a reason. Let's watch this again as he spreads his glove and flies into the wall and hangs on to make the grab. Top of 10, went to extras. 3 of the last 4 games for the Guards have gone to extras. Let's see who can be the hero here. It's Will Brennan. Little grounder. That's going to do it, though. Gets the run in. 1 more run's going to score for Cleveland in this inning. 6-4. And that's going to be it as Emmanuel Clase comes in and slams the door on Oakland. And from the diamond to the hardwood, the NBA regular season wraps up on Sunday, but the Western Conference standings are far from set. Right now, the Warriors are barely hanging on to that final spot in the coveted top 6. Seeds 7 through 10 will be sent to the play-in tournament, and both the Lakers and Pelicans will look to finish the season strong to potentially leapfrog Golden State as they only sit 1 game behind. You can see the Mavericks sitting right outside of the play-in, but they are actually tied with the Thunder, but OKC holds the tiebreaker. They will be hoping for a little help from Utah and Memphis over the next few days to try to slip into that play-in.
Okay, Blake, so which team are you favoring in the West?
I really like that 1-seeded Denver Nuggets. You know, they're super strong, MVP talent, Nikola Jokic, and they have a great supporting cast. Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., the list goes on. Super strong team, super tough out.
But more importantly, how do you think the Cavs are going to do in the playoffs this year?
Oh, I'm super excited for the Cavaliers this year. You know, they got that first-round matchup against the New York Knicks. It looked pretty tough earlier, but Julius Randle had an ankle injury. He is day-to-day going into this, so we could maybe see him in there, but not 100% Julius Randle. That's going to help out the Cavs in the first round, and that's going to help them moving forward.
Can't wait.
Yep. Make sure to follow at TV2 KSU Sports for updates on all things Kent State athletics. I have been Blake Goloja. Have a great weekend.
Dairy Queen is releasing new flavors, and for a limited time, you'll be able to get them for less than $1.
Welcome back. If you looked up at the sky last night, you may have seen the pink moon. It wasn't actually pink, but at the first full moon of April, it's named after the colorful flowers starting to bloom now that it's spring.
And that wasn't the only astronomical sight in April. Last night, Venus and Mars were also visible near the full moon, and later in the month, a total solar eclipse will be visible in Australia, Southeast Asia, and Antarctica.
But grab your red spoons. Dairy Queen's release of a new Blizzard flavor as a part of their summer lineup is encouraging ice cream lovers to stop by their local DQ. The new flavor is Oreo Brookie with Oreo cookie pieces and brownie and cookie pieces in the vanilla soft serve. But if that isn't enough, Dairy Queen is celebrating the Blizzard's debut as the 85-cent Blizzard starting on April 10th through the 23rd. All right, I have never been so excited because I am the biggest DQ fan.
Oh, me too.
So we're grabbing our red spoons at the moment. What flavor did you get?
So I have the chocolate-covered strawberry flavor, which I'm very excited about.
This is amazing, and I have the brookie one. So
Ooh,
let's dig in. It's amazing. It's Dairy Queen. I mean,
It's so good.
I've never loved anything more.
Right?
Which is typical.
This might be one of my new favorite flavors at Dairy Queen.
Do you go to Dairy Queen often?
I go to Dairy Queen all the time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just like, I don't know if it's where like my growing up, but it's just a staple. Like I have to go
so
like
good.
at least twice a month. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us.
For all these stories and more, follow us on social media at TV2 at Kent Wired.
Thank you for, have a great night.